I just burned my tongue. Hello, YouTube friends. I am alive. You guys can see, earlier this year, I posted a video that I'm quitting and I'm done being a leather crafter. And it was as if I was writing my, suicide note, it seems like. All the messages below were just basically like RIP, he's gone forever and stuff like that. And, I'm still alive. The video I posted earlier this year, which was, I think at this point, 11 months ago or something, going on 10, 11 months ago or something. But since I quit being a leather crafter, my life has been incredible. And I don't want to just parade my own horn and just brag a bunch, but man, it's crazy how such a small little switch in your mind can change just the whole way you operate. It's incredible. So, for example, I'll just give you guys a life update in the past basically year of my life. So, as you can see, I'm in a new shop, so that'll be part of the story. But this year, I got married to my wife. I went on a week-long midlife crisis road trip / bachelor party with my boys across the country. Skateboarding, which was pretty intense and fun. Went on a honeymoon to Mexico, which was pretty incredible. First time I was out of the country. We came back, bought our first house about 2 months after our wedding, and 2 or 3 days after we signed the paperwork to buy our new house and we paid the deposit on it. Me and my wife found out that we were having a baby. Our baby is due in about 2 months now, so it's really close. My wife's like 7 months pregnant. And then on top of it, my social media following has absolutely exploded. I do consider YouTube to be like my social media following, but I posted like 3 videos this year. I kind of put it on the back burner, but like my Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok is what I consider my social media following. I wish I had the exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure I over tripled it. I think I went from around 50 or 60,000 followers across everything to over 180,000 followers on everything right now. And then so we moved into the new house also. I set up my new shop, and then I did a bunch of construction and stuff around our new property. Wasn't necessarily a fixture-upper, but there was a lot of things that needed to be done there too. So YouTube is not my main source of income, nor does it really pay my bills, nor does it really bring in orders all that much. So it's kind of the first thing to go when life starts happening, and this year life happened quite a bit. So with all that stuff being said, I feel very grateful and blessed. So I'm alive. I'm doing incredibly well. If any of you are excited to see that I'm alive and still doing leather crafting, I guess, I highly recommend checking out my other social medias, my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. That's where I'm posting every single day. It's where how I run my business is out of those social media platforms. So I'm gonna try. I do a lot of reels. I do a lot of little videos. I'm much more of a video guy over a picture guy. So I'm gonna start trying to upload when I go and upload every day my reels to Instagram and whatever, TikTok and whatnot. I'm gonna try and start dropping them in the YouTube Shorts and just kind of see what happens. But I would account all this year's success to the simple change that I made, and you can check it out, my video from about, I think 10 or 11 months ago, where it says, I think it's called I'm quitting leather crafting or something like that, where, long story short, I basically, at the beginning of this year, I just had my 7-year anniversary of being self-employed in September. So at the beginning of the year, I had been about 6.5 years into this game, and I have a love-hate relationship with leather crafting. It is not what I chose to do. It's more what has kind of called me. It's like I had a calling to do it. coming out of just necessity. So I feel like, growing up as an artist, I was never really great at drawing, but I definitely was an artist. I did a lot of like collage and like really creative kind of things. So I'm not a person who could sit here and draw like a realistic horse head or a human or even like a really, natural looking landscape, except maybe a desert, because I grew up in the desert. But with that stuff being said, I feel like I'm much more, if I was an artist, you're going to have your artistically inclined people who could draw stuff out of thin air. You're going to have your musically inclined people. You're going to have your three-dimensionally inclined people who can kind of create stuff out of 3 dimensions. There's people who are like color inclined people who can do really crazy color work. And then where I would consider myself the most artistic is that I'm probably more creatively inclined than most other, I guess, professional artists or professional, crafters. So with that being said, I basically was like, you know what? I don't love the act of leather crafting or the fact that I leather craft. I more so love the fact that I'm able to do art and be self-employed, and kind of, I love the journey more than the act of the thing that it is that I'm doing. So I'm more just here for the long haul. So trying not to ramble too bad, because I'm probably not going to edit this video down at all. But at the beginning of the year when I made that video, I basically changed my mindset from, I'm not going to be a leather crafter in the traditional sense. When you go and look on the internet, there's tens and hundreds of thousands of leather crafters, and they all kind of play this game. I pretty much was like, you know what? I'm just going to be an artist who uses the medium of leather crafting and really just start taking risks and doing things that I want to do and doing things that I think are cool, and taking my customers' ideas and running with it. And that's where I think I fell in love with leather crafting this year. It's always had this big part of my heart, especially with my brother and growing up in his shop. And at this point, it's kind of turned into our family legacy. So it does hold the place in my heart. But now with what I do, it's actually fun, at least 75% of the time, where I get a customer who wants X, Y, and Z, and I go, oh, we could do X, Y, and Z, maybe get rid of X, but maybe do Y and Z, and then we throw LMNOP in there. And there's a lot more kind of cool creative back and forth, give and take. Now that I'm not necessarily trying to appease the leather community as a whole and kind of fit in and take this traditional route of most other leather crafters or peers of mine, I kind of said, you know what? I don't want to do, necessarily this exact thing. I'm going to kind of do my own thing and just see what happens. And sure enough, not even a year later, and my social media following has grown dramatically. Like I said, I over tripled that. My income has grown quite a bit. I don't have the exact numbers on that at the moment. I probably could have. That would have been a cool factoid. But I would say probably this year I'd say I probably made 50% more money than I did the year before. So to have 50% growth in a business in 1 year is massive. So with all that kind of being said, I'm still doing me. I'm still very much alive. I'm happier than ever doing my job. I love my job. I love my shop as well. Now I have one place where I can kind of contain everything. I've had a few of those, but it's been a while. When I was living in Fort Worth, I was working like half out of a spare bedroom in my house and half in a garage. And now I'm in one contained area, which is really nice. And as you can see, I got it decorated pretty cool, and you really can't even see all my decorations I have up. So maybe I'll do a little kind of scan of some of the stuff I have hanging up on the wall at the end. Probably not. Brian, cut this out. I'm not going to cut this out. You know what? I'm not cutting this out. This is just a short video and with that being said, it's going to go straight into how I'm going to approach my YouTube going forward. If you guys are here for leather crafting tutorials, I'm sorry to say it, but the leather crafting tutorials are pretty much not coming ever again. When you do this for 60, 70, 80 hours a week, for your job, the last thing you want to do is sit and teach more about it. And the teaching aspect and the tutorial aspect of it, it's like now you got to micro analyze this shit. And you know what? It's like, man, if you can, you're going to figure it out or you're not going to figure it out, because at the end of the day, it's not even really about how you do, how you, tool your swirls and your depths and your leather thicknesses and stuff. Like, what it comes down to, if you want to be successful at doing really anything, especially leather crafting, is just sucking and taking your lessons as you go. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and use all my mental energy to come up with this crazy formula of how to, the pressure you got to use for this one specific tool in hopes that like one person, the video might have thousands of views, but like the one person's actually going to stick with it and then take that and move forward. So the way that I plan on approaching my YouTube from now on is I'm going to talk about the stuff that really matters when it comes to being an artist and really being a craftsman. And I think it's a little bit more on the artist side, because I think I'm more of an artist than I am a craftsman. So I can kind of maybe speak to the troubled artist type. I'm not passionate about doing the details and all the little numbers and the scientific formulas that people come up with to do this stuff. I'm much more into the just mental aspect of all of it. You know what I mean? Like, I get DMs so much that are like, how much, any tips and stuff. I'll get like, hey, I just picked up my tools last week. Any tips for a beginner? And I'm like, okay, I'll stop out of my day. And you know what? If you're going to ask for advice, I'm going to give you the advice that I think is the most important. And I'll just tell somebody like that, they go, I just picked my tools up a week ago. Any tips? I'll just tell them, like, be prepared to suck for a long time. Like, there's hardly anybody who does anything who just picks it up and is good at it. Unless you have maybe transferable skills. Like if maybe you're a painter for 10 years and then you pick up leather crafting, you're probably going to be artistically inclined enough to like not suck really bad. But it's all about the trials and tribulations of really obtaining any set of skills. So with that being said, I'm definitely going to talk a little bit more mindset. It's going to open up hopefully more towards just the self-employed artist, self-employed craftsman, the mindset that comes with it. I'm well aware that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm aware that you either love me or you either hate me. There's no really much people who are indifferent about me, and that's kind of always how I've been. So I've accepted that. And with that being said, I'm just gonna be me, and the people that enjoy that, they'll really enjoy it. I told a guy. My piece, I remember like 2-3 years ago, my piece of advice for the guy was literally just figure it out. And a couple years had passed, and I ran into this guy in public at a trade show, and he was like, dude, I fucking talked to you on the internet like a year ago, and what you said to me pissed me off, but man, it was the thing that I needed to hear. And I was like, oh shit, what did I tell this guy? And he goes, dude, you told me just figure it out. And you know what I did, man? For like 6 months, every time I saw you come up on my Instagram feed, I was like, man, fuck that guy. And I was like, okay, and what else after that? And he was like, for the rest of it, it finally clicked and I understood, and it was what I needed to hear. Because then once I realized you weren't actually being an asshole, you were trying to give me the best advice. I just didn't want that advice at the time. I started picking up all these skills, So that's what I'm going to focus on. Maybe more, I don't want to say like motivational, but maybe like mindset things that I've picked up. I've had a pretty crazy life myself. People think that I'm just kind of some kind of asshole, but in reality, I probably should be dead or in prison. I have, just to name a few things, I've been addicted to drugs. I, smoked crack. I've been many times smoked crack. I've been like sexually abused. I've had, psychiatric fucking problems where I've been on medications. I was like suicidal for like over a decade at some point in my life. I used to like self-harm. There's a bunch of stuff that I have overcome to Now at this stage in my life, I regularly talk to a therapist, which we won't get into too much, but one thing I spoke with him was one of the things I was struggling with a few months ago was that I have everything I could have ever hoped for and dreamed for and prayed for. I have more than I could have ever had in my own head. Like my wife is more amazing than I could have ever hoped for. My house is better than I could have ever hoped for. My business is more than I could have ever hoped for. Everything in my life except maybe I got a little chunky in the past few months. Pretty much everything other than that is way beyond my wildest imagination. And it's just because I was at such a certain low point in my life that all I did was, you know what? I'm so tired of this. If I can just use my stupid, tiny caveman moron brain, if I can use 100% of my caveman moron brain to just make today 1% better than it was yesterday, I can hopefully over the next 5, 10, 15 years be in a better situation than I am right now. And really that journey started when I started leather crafting. It was kind of, I quit leather crafting, I quit working for my brother to start my own business. And I kind of spiraled out of control for about the first 2-3 months. And then after I spiraled for the first 2-3 months, I was in probably the lowest point in my life. And I just was like, I have to do something different. So I would say it's a little bit nice for me because I have the parallel of, I guess, starting my business and being at the lowest point in my life to kind of do a side-by-side comparison and the visualization of the success of my business and my skills is running, literally almost parallel perfectly with the state of my mental health and stuff like that. So with all that stuff being said, I know I probably talked you off for 20 minutes now, but I am very excited to be where I'm at. I'm very excited for the life that I have now. I'm very blessed. I think I've been doing a bunch of trying to be the best person that I can be. And I've just been blessed for the hard work that I've put in. So, I think to wrap it up, the YouTube channel's back. I can't say that I'm going to be reliably doing a video every week like I used to, but the videos that I am going to be posting, I think are going to be more valuable than every other video I ever did, combined. And I also just remembered, one thing that I forgot to mention that I did earlier this year. I also broke the Guinness World Record for the world's longest belt, and it's official. I'm just waiting on my certificate in the mail, so maybe I'll do a video recapping that. So there will be leather crafting videos here and there, maybe a couple tips. I do have a couple ideas of videos that I want to do that I'm able to kind of send my customers to kind of help out with certain things. Like you'll notice like how to measure your own belt size and like how to set snaps if you don't want to send your project back and little things like that. But pretty much I would say 90% of the videos I'm going to be posting are going to be talking head videos like this and talking about lessons that I've learned and things and ways that those lessons have benefited me in my life. Maybe at the end of the year, I might do a recap of 2023 and my favorite projects and stuff like that. But if you are looking for a leather crafting specific channel, this is not the one for you. If you are a person who is aspiring to be an artist or a craftsman, or even anybody who's self-employed and uses any form of creativity and any form of making stuff, this channel is going to be for you. Or even just a person who clocks in a 9 to 5, but maybe isn't where they want to be mentally. I know the videos that I'm going to be posting in the future are going to definitely help me or help you. I'm a lot better of a person, but I'm still an idiot. So, I think the way that I can break things down as well is because I am kind of so dumb. When it comes to certain things, I have to think of things very slow and brick by brick, and I feel like I can explain it because it's all been a really long process. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for the kind words as well. Some of the comments that I was getting in my like, hey, I need to just step away for a second, that those videos were incredible. There was, of course, it's YouTube and everybody's fucking faceless and a coward. Nobody, people leave terrible comments and stuff like that too. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and cheers to some more stuff coming up in the future. And yeah, I feel blessed. Check out my shop. Now it's really dirty, so I'm gonna try and avoid the floor shots, but here we go. Look, I got my record ceiling. This is kind of supplies and stuff. My leather rack, cool stuff I got up on my ceiling, posters, flyers, advertisements, stuff like that. Vintage art pieces, collection of me and my brother's swivel knives, some of my favorite advertisements, feed bags, yada, yada, yada. The sickest leather shop logo of all time. Maybe one day I will do a better walk around video, but for today, that is it. It has been your boy, and I'll catch you in the next one.